All right, welcome in to our sixth conference preview of the week. We got six podcasts here in these 3 days.
Whew.
Today we are breaking down the Big 12. This is the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kobold. Here, as always, is Max Faulkner, and a special guest today on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast is Brad McDonald. Brad, welcome in.
Well,
Welcome,
thanks, fellas, for having me on here. I appreciate for the invite.
Hell yeah. So the reason we got Brad on here today is, like I said, we're talking Big 12, and he's a huge Iowa State Cyclone fan. He actually went to Iowa State. Brad, who's that 32 there?
Now, I understand why it might cause a little ruckus because he happens to be the head coach in Nebraska right now. But as a child, Fred Hoiberg was my hero.
Fred Hoiberg.
Fred Hoiberg, man. It's like old school.
Big Fred
Wow.
Hoiberg guy. Max, real quick, what's your opinion on Fred Hoiberg's tenure at the Chicago Bulls?
Well, first of all, I don't give a shit about the NBA, okay? But I will say that when I was watching the NBA, okay, I was watching the years with Fred Hoiberg. And, out of all the college coaches, why did we go to Iowa State's Fred Hoiberg? I never understood that decision. It's not like Ohio State was running away with the conference.
It's because I guarantee it. Like, don't get me wrong, I wanted to see him succeed. It's because his front office connections when he was at the Timberwolves. He was like, I forget what his exact position was, but like VP of basketball operations, something like that, within like management in Minnesota. So I think his whole goal the whole time, even though he took Iowa State's job, that was the first head coaching job offered to him, but he really wanted to be a pro coach the whole time.
Wow,
Interesting.
You really got your Fred Hoiberg stats there.
I told you, man. The childhood hero, bud.
Childhood hero.
Slide open cabinets. You're like Fred Hoiberg. Fred, up there he is.
Yep.
Childhood hero for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I wore the hell out of that jersey as a kid.
Hell yeah. That's good to hear. The Iowa State Cyclones had a pretty good season. Right now, they're the fifth seed in the Big 12, and we're gonna get back into them a little bit later. But a fun fact of the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast: we've had four guests on this podcast, four official guests. All four of them have been male nurses. They're all male nurses. How do you do that? How does that happen? How does that happen? Max, what's your opinion on that?
I don't know what the odds are in that in Vegas. Might be something we need to put some money down on. Some people would be interested. But hey, we got all the insight in the world when it comes to health. So come on now. Ask some questions about it. You sprained your ankle? I bet Brad knows how to fix it.
Yes, I do. That's something I see. Or if you're bleeding out of an orifice that you don't want to talk about, I see that too. So
We'll definitely have another podcast where you can explain what an orifice is.
Yeah, orifice and bleeding out of it. Yeah, I'm in. Yeah.
For sure. So I actually met Brad because he was a travel nurse, and if we don't know, my wife Kelly is a travel nurse, and Brad and Queef Sam is a travel nurse. We all met up in Connecticut, and that's how we got to meet Brad. And right now, you're actually a recruiter. Brad, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So did the whole travel nurse thing again. Hold on. I need to back up. I will get back into this, but what was Sam's first name?
Oh, sorry. You must not know. Sam.
No. Because I do know Sam.
It's actually a hashtag nowadays. It's Queef Sam, Queef, Queef Sam, because he is the back-to-back last place finisher in our football league. So he has the back-to-back
Queef. Two-time Queef.
So chances are he picks a lot of his Indianapolis Colts on his team.
Oh, we all know he's a big Colts queef.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. So
all
you got shoot him a text about that.
Oh, definitely, or a phone call. Trust me, he'll be hearing about that now. He didn't let me know on that one.
Oh, I'm sure he didn't. I'm sure he didn't.
But yeah, so I did the whole travel nurse thing for about 5 years, and it was actually on my second assignment where I met Ellie. Even though she worked night shift and I was day shift, we would like give report off to each other. And she's like, "Oh, you would like some of the people I know." She was actually almost out of there. I only saw you guys for like what, 3 or 4 weeks or something.
Yeah, it was quick.
Yeah,
It was quick.
yeah. And then you guys were already gone, so I got introduced to Matt and Kelly, and then they introduced me to Sam, and that was his last week on assignment. He's a travel nurse too, so that's kind of how like I know the whole crew and kept in touch and all that stuff. But yeah, now doing the recruiting thing. Turns out I get old and my back starts hurting, and so I gave up the whole ER
Touch your
nursing
toes,
thing.
Brad. Touch your toes.
Yeah,
Touch your
yeah,
toes.
yeah. Right now, if I try to do that, I might expel some fluids on accident. Like it's
Oh,
the back,
make
the
a
back's
mess.
pretty much
Sounds like a
ruined.
bathroom
Yeah,
issue.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
A plumber
Yeah, yeah.
might
We'll
be
get that
called.
onto the Bleeding Orifice podcast.
Yeah. Special bonus pod.
Yeah, special bonus pod with leaky fluids.
But right now you're back in Iowa and you're
Yep.
cheering on those Cyclones.
Yep.
And it's gonna be a hell of a Big 12 tournament. So
Oh yeah.
let's get right into that right now, boys.
Do
We
it.
got
Let's do it.
matchups tonight. We got 2 matchups tonight. Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
We got the 8-9 game here. We got West Virginia. Okay, my mom's alma mater, West Virginia.
Alma Mountaineers.
Oh, that's your mom's alma mater, huh?
My mom's alma mater, West Virginia Mountaineers. They're taking on the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. These two teams split the matchups this season with the road team winning both. West Virginia won theirs by 15. Texas Tech won theirs by 6. Brad, who you got in this game?
For this one, I just feel like Texas Tech, they started off the conference season pretty shitty.
Yeah.
And then they beat some really good, a lot of the top half teams in the Big 12
Texas.
the last
Texas.
second half. Exactly. Yeah. Including us. We had them up, I think, by like 23, 21 points or something and lost
Collapse.
Yeah, collapse.
The worst.
So, in West Virginia, when I was watching that game, I don't see all the Big 12 games, but don't miss a single Cyclone one. We just played like crap. Like, I think we should have beat them easily. But Tech, for some reason, both times gave us a lot of trouble. I've got more faith in them. Although, with their coach being, I don't know, a racist.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call that suspension for racism, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's kind of an ass. So who knows who's filling in or what they're going to do there. So kind of a toss-up, but team-wise, I think I'd take Tech.
Okay. Good pick there. Like you brought up, the coach Mark Adams has been dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really looked into it much, but allegedly he quoted a verse from the Bible that talked about slaves serving their masters. So that's not something you can say.
Nope.
Not these days.
Mark Adams,
yeah,
take a hike. Take a hike,
that'll
buddy.
do it.
Texas Tech, you're going down first round. West Virginia, moving on.
West Virginia.
I got West Virginia on that too, no doubt about it. Yeah, specifically because of that story. No way. I think Texas Tech their morale's down. It's after a comment like that, they're just like, well, fuck this season.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like a lot of teams always have like a coach in waiting on them, and Mark Adams is an older dude. So wouldn't be surprised if he had his replacement on the team already. So who knows if this dude's any good or not? I wouldn't know his name to save my life.
Yeah, I don't know who's coaching.
Talent wise, that's the only reason why I did it, because I get what you guys are saying. I agree on that point.
We got to differ somewhere, boys. We got to differ somewhere.
Definitely.
The other game tonight, the 7-10 matchup, got a little state war right here. Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. These two teams played twice this year. Oklahoma State got them both times. The first one by 16, the next one by 10. Max, do you see a 3-way sweep here?
Oh, boys. I love the Oklahoma matchup, crosstown rivalry right here in the Big 12 tournament. But I got Oklahoma State. I got the Cowboys, boys. I got the Cowboys. They've been definitely competing this year in the Big 12. They're still in the bubble, if I'm not mistaken, because they had a couple big wins this year against some very big teams up in the rankings. So, hey, I got the Cowboys.
Brad, you going Cowboys or Sooners in this one?
Oh, easily Cowboys. I think there's only 2 teams that swept us. in the Big 12 this year, and for some reason, go figure, we're the 5 seed, but one of them was Oklahoma State. And so
Really?
we're responsible for 2 of their wins in the Big 12 alone.
Wow.
And they're kind of similar in the sense that Tech was. They started out the year really slow and really have come on at the end, because for a while there they were in last place in the Big 12, and then they just slowly winning and winning and winning. So I think they're one of the hotter teams right now. So I think that's an easy one.
I agree with you, boys. This is a three-way sweep here. All of us on Oklahoma State. They're on the bubble. They're desperate. They need this one.
Yeah.
They lose, see ya. They lose, see ya.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it means more to them too. That's another good point. Yeah. Like, this is tournament type of stuff for them. Oklahoma's not getting in.
Oklahoma doesn't care.
Yeah.
No.
Thursday quarterfinal matchups, boys. First one of the day, I believe, 1:00 Mountain Time. I will be in front of my team for the reigning, defending national champions, the Kansas Jayhawks, the 1 seed in the Big 12. And Max and I haven't taken on West Virginia. Brad's got Texas Tech. I don't think it matters here, boys. I'm going Jayhawks. Max?
One thing that I'll say, I just got to ask Cole Breezy, because I'm thinking West Virginia, obviously, is going to be there. So are you going to FaceTime your mom while this is happening? Is she going to be doing her Mountaineers jersey?
After the game, don't need to get anybody worked up before. We got to know the result before we speak of this.
Who's more sweatier during these kind of games? You say you sweat a little bit more, or do you think mom gets a little worked up during that?
I'll throw a curveball at you. Probably my dad, because he's hanging on the fence. He's straddling the fence. He doesn't know where to go. So probably my dad's the sweatiest.
Well, I just knowing your mom's sweatiness status is enough for me. So I'll take that.
Yeah.
Who do you boys agree with me that Kansas is moving on to the semifinals?
Come on. Yeah,
it's Kansas. Okay. It's Kansas, no doubt about it. We'll talk about stats later.
Kansas. This is an easy one.
Yeah. Good. Next quarterfinal matchup on Thursday. Brad, you be ready for this one. This might be the juiciest one here. This might be the juiciest. The 4-5 matchup, Iowa State and Baylor. These two teams played twice. Obviously, everybody in the Big 12 played each other twice. The road team won both of these.
That's not true. Iowa State won both games.
Oh Lord!
Oh
yeah! Don't even come at me with that sauce. It's the big first game in the Big 12. Iowa State won. Last game in the Big 12. Iowa State won.
Let me see, boys.
Yeah, Google it.
On New Year's Eve, if I'm not mistaken, right? That first one was on New Year's Eve. Let's see.
It was right before New Year's. Yeah.
He's right. Beat them by 15. Oh,
yeah, we whooped their ass both times, dude.
Oh wow, boys! I'm mistaken.
Yeah, both times.
Yeah. I had a nice beezy before I did this breakdown, and wow, Iowa State got them both by 15. That last one last Saturday. Wow, I'm mistaken, boys. I apologize.
No worries. Don't worry. I got you.
I'm glad we got an Iowa State fan here today. I was unaware. of these matchups. We would have been 0-2 by 15.
We would have been spitting trash today. If not for Brad, we would have been spitting trash. But boys, like I said, this might be the juiciest one. Brad, break this one down for us.
So, obviously, Baylor backcourt, probably the best in the country, if not one of the best in the country. The one thing, like normally when we beat teams, when Iowa State does well, is they take the number one scorer off of a team. With Baylor, you've got a lot of options. So what I'm going to say, I'm just going to go off the previous trend, and we're going to whoop their ass again.
Wow.
And I've been to the Big 12 tournament twice and watched it every year.
I'm jealous.
And it's the craziest thing ever. It's 75% Cyclone fans, guys.
Really?
It's only like 3 hours from Ames. It is. They call it, well, have you heard the term Hilton South? That's what they call it there. Yeah, they call it Hilton South. And you go up there, even I don't care about Kansas State, anyone around the area. We always have the most fans there.
Wow. The T-Mobile Center, huh? Hey, is that a special guest on the side?
This is Dave.
Hey,
so what's up, Dave?
Yeah.
There he is.
You gotta get in.
Hilton South. That's what they're calling the old T-Mobile Center in Kansas City.
Yeah. Oh, and have you been there for the Big 12 tournament?
I've never been, boys. I've never been.
Hardy.
Oh, I bet. I
So
bet.
much, so
I
much fun.
bet. So you're taking your Cyclones in
Correct.
a three-way sweep here over the Baylor Bears.
Correct.
Max, who you got in this one?
I look at these matchups and man, Iowa State's had their number. I mean, that's an ass whooping two times in a row. That's
By 15.
Yeah.
It makes me want to flip my pick, but
You flip
a
flop.
wise man once said it's very hard to beat a team, a good team 3 times in a season. I got Baylor squeaking out with this one. I think, Brad, you already brought it up. Their backcourt is outstanding. They play defense. I got Baylor.
Fair.
This is a classic case of offense versus defense here, boys. According to Ken Palm, Baylor's the number 2 offense, where Iowa State is the number 5 defense.
Damn.
So what's going to prevail here? Can you explain who just got dismissed off of Iowa State guard?
Yeah. Caleb Grill.
Caleb Grill.
I thought that, I'm wondering, there's just a lot of rumors. No one really knows what happened. Sounds like he said something super inappropriate, and it must have been like unforgivable type of shit.
Okay.
Because he followed Coach TJ Otzelberger to UNLV and then back to Iowa State.
Oh.
And so he's been with him. He's been recruiting him since high school.
Wow.
So he's known him for 6, 7, 8 years now. And for him to kick him off the team means he probably said something you can't come back from, because he put out a statement apologizing about whatever happened. And it sucks because he's our best 3-point shooter. Oh. But last game, first game without him, we
smashed.
Whooped some ass.
Yeah, whooped some ass.
So wonder if he was a cancer to the locker room. I'm not saying he was. No, nothing. Haven't heard anything like that. I was rooting for him, and when I heard the announcement, it kind of threw me back.
Yeah.
I know he was having back problems, and there was rumors about maybe his medication messing with his mind or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that's true or not, or just an excuse. Wow. But yeah, so basically that's why he's off the team, and he was, I don't know, probably our 3rd leading scorer. That's just me guessing off the top of my head, because I know it'd be like Holmes, Kalsher, and I don't know. But huge loss on the perimeter. But it doesn't really hurt us defensively, because actually we started after that happened. The last game, Iowa State started playing a lot of their tweener guys, their long guys, because they've got a few that they haven't used a lot of this year, like Watson. Ping played a bunch. So it was, I don't know. We'll see. I think defensively we're going to be just as good, if not better. Offensively, we're going to be missing some.
Like you said, I think it's a huge loss in the backcourt. Leading 3-point shooter, like you said. I see a revenge angle. I see a revenge angle here for the Baylor Bears. Like we say, it's tough to beat a team 3 times, a good team 3 times. I'm going Baylor Bears. Sorry, Brad. I'm sorry.
Totally. Hey, everyone else in the country is too. That's why it's going to make me happier when it doesn't happen.
I like it.
Possibly the juiciest game tomorrow on Thursday of those quarterfinal matchups.
Oh, yeah.
But the next one, the 3rd one we got here, we all have Oklahoma State moving on to take on the 2-seeded Longhorns. This game this year, they played twice. Texas got them both times. First one by 11, next one by 14. Max, this one pretty easy for you?
I think it's going to be a pretty tight game in the first half. All right. And then Texas is going to just pound them in the second half. That senior leadership coming from Texas, it's hard to root against them here against Oklahoma State in this Big 12 tournament. I will say Oklahoma State's fighting for their lives, right? They're on the bubble. So if they beat Texas, maybe they're in.
If they beat Texas, I think they're in.
Oh,
Brad, you agree with that, Brad?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Texas is really good. I just don't see it happening. So I got Texas.
Brad?
Oklahoma State.
Yep. Shocker.
Yep. This one, again, like I was saying earlier, they have just kind of heating up at the end of the year.
Wow.
And who'd they just lose to? Last game of the Big 12, Texas. Ooh. Correct me. Do you got it up? I don't.
You said Texas?
Yeah, they just lost the last game of the year. Didn't they lose to someone shitty?
Texas just spanked Kansas last Saturday.
Oh, that's what it was.
They lost to TCU during the week, I believe.
Okay, well, either of those are fine losses, even if they lost to them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think Texas is up and down. I think they're good, but I don't think they're great.
Oh,
No, I got Oklahoma State. I just think they, like you were saying earlier, Matt, like I think they want it more. They've got more
more to play
bubble,
for. Yeah,
implications on this game in Texas. It's might change a seed, maybe.
yeah, yeah.
Oklahoma State, they go to the Big 12 championship game. Well, that gives them probably better than what they're sitting at, like a 10 or 11 right now. If they get in, they could get
Sure.
them down to like a 9.
Yeah, definitely. Big upset pick there from you, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
But both of these games being double digits during the season, I got to go Longhorns. I like the Longhorns like Max does. I think they could win it all. I think Texas could be
Yeah.
a champion this year. And I don't think they're going to lose to the Cowboys.
I can't believe this shit. We just had a conversation about Iowa State beating Baylor by 15 twice. The combination on the wins between these games are 11 and 13. Please explain your logic, assholes. Okay? Yeah. Your argument doesn't fucking fit this game, but it did the last game just because you want to give me shit, or what the hell?
I think the loss of Caleb Grill is gonna show. I know it didn't matter last Saturday when they went to Baylor and smacked them. I know it doesn't matter, but Scott Drew, he's gonna break down that tape. He's gonna figure some things out, and that's why I go Baylor there and Texas here.
Okay, whatever.
Hey,
I would say by 20.
Baylor is Baylor is too good of a team to lose to Iowa State 3 times. No way, not happening.
Yeah, we'll talk about money wagers.
Put your money on it, people. Put your money.
After this, we'll talk about wagers.
Yeah, this podcast might be betting. Might be betting. Last quarterfinal matchup tomorrow, Thursday night. We got the 3-6 matchup. This one's also juicy, fellas. We got K-State and TCU.
Yeah.
These two teams played twice. Home teams winning both. TCU won theirs by 14. K-State won theirs by 21.
Oh shit.
Both of these kind of easy wins. Brad, what do you think about what do you think about this 3-6 matchup?
I go K-State.
Going K-State.
I think which is I'm trying to think of his name, point guard, little guy, the 5'8" guy.
Marquise Noel.
Yep. I was thinking Powell for some reason. Noel, yes.
Wooden Award watch.
Yeah.
Wooden Award watch.
Yeah. And then who's their other big transfer they got? They had like the heart issue that was out for a while.
George. Or Keontae Johnson.
Johnson. You're thinking Baylor.
Yeah,
that's Baylor. Yeah.
Too many Keontaes.
But yeah.
Too many Keontaes.
Too many. But yeah, I think the combination, those two are better than anyone on the opposition. And the way they played, like this is a Baylor head coach Scott Drew disciple taking over here, and a lot of people I know, they talked at one point in time before TJ got his job, he was perhaps in the running for Iowa State's job, and I just got a lot of respect for him. He's just been like kind of weary to take his own head coaching job, from what I heard, just because all the success at Baylor and whatnot. But he's going in the running for coach of the year right now. So
damn,
Kansas State.
I don't know how many years he spent with Scott Drew, but do you know how many? It was a lot.
It was over 10.
Yeah, it was double digits.
It was a long time.
Yeah. So you got K-State here, Brad. Max, do you agree with Brad?
Oh, absolutely. I've been talking about the Wildcats all year. I've been saying Kansas State is a top 10 team for a few episodes that we've been talking about this. I like Kansas State. They have 2 wooden watches. They have 2 wooden watches on your team. That's something you really got to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Nobody else.
Yeah, let alone the Horned Frogs of TCU. Right now, they're not doing too hot. Okay, their last 10 games, they're 4-6. They just lost to Oklahoma to end the season. I got no way. I don't have TCU even going too far in this year's dance. I think right now they're cold.
Okay. You 4-6 in the last 10, but 3-2 in the last 5. So let's not paint
perspective.
Be careful.
They just lost to Oklahoma. Oklahoma ain't playing for nothing.
They did. They lost to Oklahoma, but the game before that they beat Texas. So let's be careful of the picture you're painting there.
Yeah,
and because
the Big 12 is the Big 12, man. You can lose to anyone any week. They're all good.
You're right about that.
True.
And because of that, boys, I'm going opposite you. I'm going the Horned Frogs at TCU.
Good luck.
25th at Ken Palm, 24th in defense, 28th in the net. TCU's a solid team, and they're healthy now. And they're healthy now.
Yeah.
Mike Miles is
With
back. Eddie Lampkin's
Miles,
back.
that's one thing I was going to say. They lost like 4 or 5 when Miles was out.
Yeah.
And so that can account for a little bit
that
of
will
the
answer it then.
streak. So,
That's big.
yeah. I still like Kansas State. Like Max was saying, though, the two best players are both on Kansas State. In my opinion.
I agree. 3 Wooden Award candidates in this game.
Yeah.
Marquise Noel, Keontae Johnson, and Mike Miles. So a lot of talent on the floor. Moving on to Friday, semifinal matchups. That's Friday. We got the reigning defending national champions, the Kansas Jayhawks, kicking us off. All 3 of us got them there. Taking on, for Max and I, we got Baylor there. Brad, as we know, has Iowa State sitting there. If we're interested, Kansas and Baylor played twice this year. Baylor got both. The home team won both. Baylor got them by 6, and Kansas got them by 16. That was that huge comeback win in Allen Fieldhouse. I'm going Kansas in this game.
Shocker.
Not nobody surprised by that. I think the big men for Kansas are better, more production up front from the Jayhawks than the Bears. Max, do you agree or disagree with me?
Well, I'm going to just go ahead and agree with you. I do think Kansas is going to beat Baylor, but this is one of the funnest matchups that you can have here in the Big 12. I love this new Kansas-Baylor rivalry because Baylor's the one that won the championship a few years back. Then Kansas won 2 years back. Sorry, thank you. And then Kansas won last year. So, they're the champions of the Big 12. But let's toss out a couple stats so the fans at home can determine whether or not who they think, Baylor or Kansas. So Kansas right now is averaging 75.6 points per game. Baylor's averaging 77.3. Okay. Once again, big backcourt. Kansas is averaging 36.3 rebounds, while Baylor's only averaging 34.8. 16.9 assists for Kansas, passing the ball around. That's why I like Kansas. They keep moving it. They just keep moving it.
Great offense.
14.6 assists for Baylor. Kansas is also playing some defense this year, 8.7 steals. That's the most that I've seen in the Big 12. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the highest that I've seen.
Solid.
And then they're also shooting 46.4% from the field, while Baylor's only shooting 44.6. Free throws, 72.4 for Kansas. Baylor likes to step up and hit it from the line at 74.6%. And then as far as three-point percentage, 34.8 to 36.8. Pretty up there as far as 3-pointers go. The one thing that I will say about Baylor is that they're 6 deep. Okay, they got 6 guys that are averaging at least over 20-something minutes a game. Kansas only has 5. Yeah, and that's all 5 of their starters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely more depth on the other side there. But we're both taking Kansas over Baylor. Brad, you got Kansas, Iowa State in that semifinal matchup.
Well, yeah, so your whole breakdown doesn't work for me. First of all, when you talk about defense, Iowa State's better than both of them combined. So don't even. Get out of here. I don't care about Kansas defense. All right? Like, Kansas gets a bunch of 5-star recruits. TJ just grabbed some people off the scrap heap and took them to the Sweet 16 last year. I don't want to.
Sure.
All right? So, first of all, in this game, just to prove you guys wrong again, I'm going Iowa State because realistically, Jalen Wilson can go nuts, and they still lost 2 games where he's gone crazy. What do you 38 against TCU, and then 30 or 38 versus I forget who the other game was, Kansas State, and they lost both those games. So what it comes down to is dick. So if they got good dick, they win. So just wear a condom and you're fine in the game.
If we're not sure who Brad is referring to, it's freshman shooting star Grady Dick.
Yeah, good dick. Yeah.
But yes, protection is key.
Yes,
but
exactly.
You got the Cyclones here. Let's not forget about that 15-point beatdown at Iowa State that Iowa State gave us. So split the season series. The other one was tight. What was it? 2-point game? 2-point game at Allen Fieldhouse. So split the season series with Iowa State smacking us.
Yeah, we beat the hell out of you, and you barely got us. I mean, 3 points just for home court advantage. So technically, in the spread wise, we win. So I've got us again. You go in a neutral court. I mean, let's just do some math here.
Oh yeah, basically, like you said, Hilton South. It might be a home court for them.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, science done.
Oh man, so Max and I have Kansas moving on to the championship Saturday. Brad's got Iowa State moving on. In the next semifinal, I think we all three have different matchups here. I'll start with mine. I got Texas and TCU meeting up. These they met twice, obviously, with the home team winning both. Texas won theirs by 4, and TCU won theirs last week by 2. But like I said, last round, boys, I really like Texas. 9th in the net, 8th in strength of schedule. I'm going Texas to move on to play my Kansas Jayhawks in a third rubber match. Max, what is your second semifinal matchup down there, Max?
I have Texas versus K-State. And man, I like this matchup as well. And Big 12 is good. Okay. We've been talking about them all year. Okay. Obviously, we're bragging about them in this episode. Like all these teams that we're naming right now, all 5 basically, as the difference that we have. Oh, 6, sorry, all 6 that they're all very, very good teams. But I'm telling you right now, Texas is going to take this one home. All right. No big surprise here. The number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed going into the championship. But Texas is just really good. They're averaging 78.8 points per game. Come on.
Yeah.
Dude, so March Madness. You pick chalk. You throw your money down the train.
If you watch the other, if you watch the other pods, we had a lot of upsets in there. But these 2 teams have been the best 2 probably all season. Brad, what is that second semifinal matchup for you on Friday night?
Mine is Oklahoma State and Kansas State. And yeah, Oklahoma State's going to get 1, they're going to get 2. I like K-State. I really do. Like, again, same argument I had before. 2 of the best players in the Big 12 on the same team.
Nice.
I like the way they look, even when we beat them. Like, I don't know. Their team's just, I really, really enjoy watching them play basketball.
Yeah.
And I think they've got, I think 3-4 years down the road, we're going to look back and think they have one of the top 2-3 coaches in the Big 12. And that's saying a lot coming from this conference, because there's some Hall of Famers. I mean, Scott, Drew, South, they're both going.
No doubt.
No doubt. And then there's probably a few eventually that will as well. So
Bob Huggins.
Oh, Bob Huggins, definitely.
You would have asked me like 8 years ago, I'd have said 100% sure, but he hasn't done shit in like 5-6 years.
Yeah, pretty good. Jamie Dixon. Pretty good.
With what the turnaround he did coming from Pitt to TCU to turn around the program like he did. Yeah, I think eventually, and he's still young. So I think I could see a Big 12 championship in their future, no doubt.
Pretty good coaches. Brad, why don't you just lead us right in? So you got K-State and Iowa State in your championship matchup. Are you going to surprise the people?
No, really not.
Absolutely not.
Iowa State has, I would guess, like, I have no stat to back this up in front of me, but I would have to imagine we have one of the best win percentages in the Big 12 tournament over the past 10 years out of any school other than.
There's been some magic. There's been some magic there.
Yeah. I mean, we've won it, 3 times in the past? Yeah, basically every 3 years or so on average. And so there's, like I said, I've been there twice, and it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. It is like Mardi Gras for Iowa State students. And then a bunch of fucking old ass people that went there like me that show up and just get wasted and pass out in the street. Yeah. It's great.
Pass out in the street. Well, that's fair.
I saw it once. This guy urinating on himself. It was great. Took a picture. Good time.
Oh man. Might have to send me that picture.
Yeah. Totally will.
Max, we have the same championship matchup here. What are you thinking here? These Texas and Kansas played twice. Home team winning both. Kansas won theirs by 8. And then we saw last week the 75-59 beat down in the Moody Center at Texas. What do you think in this rubber match?
Oof. I think it's a toss-up. If I have to pick one, man, geez. Should I just flip a coin? So just leave it to look. That might be a higher percentage of what my guess actually will be. You know,
100%, bro.
they said, "Oh, these stats did it good." Maybe just flipping a coin is a better idea.
Well, neither one's getting there anyway, so like it matters.
Oh, yeah,
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But you know what? You're going to be extra happy here, Cole Breezy. I got your Kansas Jayhawks. Take it down, Texas.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, just like Brad and just like Ben yesterday on the Big 10, I'm not going to surprise anybody either. We mentioned Jalen Wilson earlier. He's the leading scorer and rebounder in the Big 12. And Max, you talked about some assists earlier. DeJuan Harris averaging 6.3 assists is good for second in the Big 12.
Good.
Kansas is taking this tournament. They took the regular season. I think we can all agree they're a 1 seed. All right, boys. With Kansas winning that regular season Big 12, and also in my opinion, and also Max's opinion, winning the Big 12 tournament. If that happens, Brad, do you see them being the #1 overall seed over Houston, over Bama, Purdue, UCLA? Do you see Kansas being the #1 overall seed?
If they win the Big 12 tournament, they should be, but they still won't be, honestly. Yeah, like realistically, they're definitely a #1 seed, whether they win or lose the Big 12 tournament. But if they won it, they should be, because this is a freaking gauntlet. What, 8 of the 10 teams in the Big 12 have been ranked at some point in time this year, like something like that. And it's like every week you have no slouch, and the people at the bottom can beat you any week too.
Exactly.
I've seen it because they beat the top teams in the league. Oklahoma just beat was TCU a couple days ago. Like they should be, but I think they're gonna go with the teams with less losses.
Two lost Houston.
Yeah. Houston's gonna get because we don't know. I don't know off the top of my head who they lost to, but I guarantee it's not as good as losses as like what Kansas has.
Houston's both of their losses were at home. The first one was to Bama, and the next one was to Temple. Okay.
Temple's bad.
Yeah.
But Alabama's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Alabama's pretty good.
That one's acceptable.
And that was a close one too. Wasn't it a 1-point game, Cole Breezy, or something like that?
Alabama, Houston.
Yeah.
I'll look that up. Give me your opinion on a possible #1 overall seed for Kansas.
Brad already stated it. Houston's going to win the American Conference, and so they're going to 3 more wins. So they're going to be 32-2. They're going to be the #1 seed based on record, just based on record. Okay, but you know what? Houston is not like if we're sitting here thinking that we're comparing them to like the Gonzaga teams. You know how Gonzaga is always ranked #1, but they always lose. I'll tell you right now, Houston plays defense. All right, they are top 5 best defenses that out there. And hey, the championship is in Houston this year. Sorry, the Final Four is in Houston this year.
Home court.
So, I mean, it's
wait till they join the Big 12. You think this conference is good now?
I did not know they were joining the Big 12.
Hell yeah, next year.
Snap.
Next year. Hell yeah.
I love that.
This basketball conference is good now. Next year, this conference is going to be stupid.
Juicy.
Ooh, that's an alert right there. I'm really excited. I'm pumped up now. I'm already thinking about next season. It's not even March Madness.
Hey, careful. Don't get ahead of yourself. Back to that Bama Houston game. Bama got them by 6. Temple only won by 1. Okay, so both of those were tight. Kansas, since they started doing the quadrants for college basketball, the quad 1, quad 2 shit.
Yeah.
The most quad 1s ever was 14, and currently Kansas has 15. And a win over West Virginia, and then either Baylor or Iowa State, and then another win over somebody in the championship. Those are all going to be quad 1 wins on a neutral court.
It'll be 3 more.
It's going to be 3 more, so that'll make 18. And let's see here, boys. The next, so Kansas has 15 quad 1 wins right now. The next teams is Texas and Baylor with 11. No one else has double digits. Okay.
That's only because you guys
quad
been ranked
1.
all
Yeah,
season,
just
right?
quad
The Big
1.
12 been ranked all season.
Okay.
So that's why they're getting all those quad 1 wins.
It goes off of the net. So if where you ranked in the net depends on where you are. If you're quad 1, quad 2.
Gotcha.
So Kansas has 15. Never have we seen that before. Like Brad was saying, they should be the #1 overall. but they'll probably give it to the 2-loss Houston Cougars.
Mhm.
Houston Cougars.
Houston
Yeah.
Cougars.
No doubt. I mean, it's just, and it's fair too, because they do have a few more losses. But I remember, hell, the start of the Big 12 season, about halfway through, there's about 4 or 5 teams thought they can win it. Sure enough, fucking Kansas again.
Yeah.
Goddamn year. I'm so
yeah.
tired of it as an Iowa State fan, but I know
Speaking
it's
of
good when I see it.
speaking of the middle of the season, Kansas went on that 3-game losing streak, and the odds on FanDuel kept coming down,
Mhm.
kept coming down. I put
You
a
bet on
50
it.
I put a 50 spot at plus
Ah!
300 for Kansas, and it cashed out 200 bones, boys. They went on, they beat Kentucky and then started to run. Everybody was counting out my Jayhawks on that 3-game losing streak. I put a 50 spot on them, and it paid off. So I think Kansas is a top 2 overall seed in the tournament, a Final Four contender, a championship contender.
100%.
Anybody have any disagreement with me about that?
No.
No, absolutely not. You know, it's
Other than
pretty
I hate
funny.
them
All
and I
4
hope they
people.
lose. But
Well, yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
I said, other than I hate them and I hope they lose. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than you hate them, yeah.
Yeah.
You hate them because you love them.
No, I hate them because I hate them.
Well,
Hate's
hate's a strong word, you know. It stays
is,
right here.
it
It
is.
stays right here in the heart.
It is. It is.
Meant it.
We're gonna have to do some CPR there, Mr. Nurse. You know.
Yeah, only if I lose.
Yeah, maybe. Just to wrap up this Big 12 pod, the FanDuel odds on this tournament right now, you can get Kansas at plus 240, Texas at plus 300, Baylor at plus 430, TCU at plus 500, K-State, the 3 seed, at plus 850. And then you notice I haven't said the Cyclones yet. If you agree with Brad, you can go and get the Cyclones at plus 1,500. If you put $100 on that, that's paying out $1,500. Okay. You put 100 bones on the Cyclones winning this,
Doing it
it's
right
paying
now.
out 1,500. Put it down, Brad. Put it down.
Doing it right now. Yeah.
$1,500 payout if the Cyclones take this baby. And according to you, Brad, it's going to happen. So might as well bet on it.
Easily. Yeah, by like 30 points a game, probably. Yeah.
And
not exaggerating at all.
I've been through Iowa a couple times. If I'm not mistaken, FanDuel is legal. Sports betting is going on in the state of Iowa. Hell yeah.
I legit got up on my phone. I wasn't kidding. Yeah,
Shout out.
I didn't know those
FanDuel.
odds. Yeah.
Shout out FanDuel. That's
right.
News. Brad, I appreciate you coming on today, man. Biggest Iowa State Cyclone fan I know, former student. Loved having you on, man. We'll have to have you back.
Oh yeah.
Anytime, fellas. I enjoyed the time.
Hell yeah, Max. Got anything to finish this one out?
You know, the last thing I wanted to say was, you know, how biased are we all towards our teams? We had 4 different people on this week,
all picked their team.
All of us together, and we all picked our teams. Ben picked Maryland to win the Big 10. I picked Purdue. You picked Kansas, go Breeze, and then of course you pick Iowa State. Just true fans here. Why would we go against our team on a one of our podcasts? No way.
It's historically accurate for me. We win the Big 12 tournament all the time.
Sure.
You got a lot of March magic there.
Yeah.
Shout out Fred Hoiberg. Can we see that jersey one more time?
Yeah.
Shout out Fred. All right, Max.
No.
Anything else, brother?
Hey, thanks you all for coming out and supporting us and watching this Big 12 talk. Hey, leave some comments. Please subscribe and help us help us a little bit. What do you guys think? Who's winning the Big 12 this year? Let's talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, give us your opinions. Give us some likes, some comments, and we're on YouTube. Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. So please subscribe, and we'll talk to you next week.
Don't tell mama, baby. Watch the games. Come on, it's gonna be a good one. All of them are great.